Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? Welcome to another episode of an experiment called Life with Alex Mackenzie, which is me. Dude, I'm very excited to make this episode. We're gonna get right into it. I've put it off for quite a while because I really wanted to get it right, but then I'm like, whatever man, there's like 20 people listening to this anyway, so I'll have a chance to do it again. If I think I can do it better, it's like comedy, you just gotta go out there, keep trying, and you'll get it better every time. So this podcast is all about love. So it's, something that I think is the answer to everything. So love, I'm just going to write and talk about like 5 things that I've learned about love so far. And I'm sure these will keep changing as I get older and grow. So number 1 thing that I've learned about love so far, what do we have to do? First thing we have to do before talking about it is we have to define what love is. So the best definition of love I have ever heard, it actually comes from Jordan Peterson, which is someone that everyone doesn't like. Well, some people don't like. But anyway, his definition of love is the desire to see all things flourish. And I think that's the best definition of love I've ever heard, is the desire to see all things flourish. So when we're talking about love on this podcast, when I mention love, that is the viewpoint that I'm coming from all the time, which I'm sure I'll double back to in reference anyway. So moving on, number 1 is that love is always the answer. Like anytime there's a choice between love and fear, always choose love. Like that seems to be, love has never steered me wrong when it's made in the pure sense. So I've had like a loving decision. I've never regret a decision that I've made out of love. I've regretted a lot of decisions that I've made trying to get love. And that is the big difference right there, is like a true loving decision where you're like, this feels right. Like I'm coming from my heart and it's just doing this out of love for nothing in return. That is always the right answer. Like I've had my head, like your head will make up these decisions and try and decide ways for you to get love. So that's not a decision made out of love. Your brain will be like, oh, if we do this, then this person will do this and then they'll love me and give me what I want. And that isn't like a loving decision, man. That is not how it works. So I've never regretted a decision made out of pure love, when I just sit down and I think, what does my heart want? Whether it's like sending a message to a girl that I've been thinking about just to let them know that I love them and I miss them, or if it's like, buying a gift or giving something to someone in my social circle that I love, or, making a donation to a charity out of love, or, I don't know, talking on stage, anything that I've done that just my heart just wanted to do, was like, hey man, like go and do this. Like it just feels good to do this thing. I've never regretted any of those. I've made what would be similar decisions, but it was in turn to get something in return. And then when you don't get the thing, you're like, well, they freaking obviously, look, I gave them all the love. They didn't give me anything. You're like, that wasn't love, dude. That was you concocting a plan with your head to try and get something that you wanted. So number 1, love is always the answer. I really, really believe that. Okay, so number 2. Number 2 is you never withhold love to receive love. So that seems to be something that I think is like inherently put in us, probably from our parents, where it's like, if you're a good boy or you're a good girl, then you get all the love and you get all the things. And then it's like, if you're bad, you don't get love. So it seems like love, what we do is we withhold it. We're like, oh, I'm not going to give them love because they're not giving me love in return. And that, again, it's kind of like saying the same thing as I was before, but it's like, that isn't love. Like that is what it is. Actually, it's very interesting. It kind of comes from, it makes me think of a line from like Adlerian theory. So Alfred Adler, he was like a psychologist, and he has a thing, Adlerian theory, where it's about like inferiority complexes and superiority complexes, where we'll actually like use a weakness or insecurity of our own to control other people. And that's kind of what this love thing is. So it's like, you're like, oh, I know that they like this. I'm not going to give them this love until they give me what I want. And it's just like manipulation and control. So like, you're not acting out of love. Like, it's like if you're withholding love to try and get love, isn't love again. And that's like that Adlerian theory kind of thing. He talks about like, you know, if you were to try and comfort me about my lisp, and I said, you think you know what it's like to have a lisp? You think you know what it's like going around talking to people and you get called marbles all the time, and hey, spit out the marbles, talk proper, buddy. And if I was like, you were trying to comfort me about, hey, it's okay, you have a lisp, and I said, you don't know what it's like now I'm using my insecurity over my own speech impediment to control you, you know, and that's not good. That's not the way to do it. I got to deal with that thing, you know? So I think that's like the same with like the love thing, is like never withhold love to receive love. You just got to do it. Number 3 about love is that love is infinite. There is no set value of love. It is not a zero-sum game. It's not like if I give you love, that I have less love to give somebody else. There is more than enough love. There's a never-ending supply of love. And that was a very, very good realization I had. Again, this was taught to me mostly through Colette Freeman. So Colette Freeman, I will be talking about her more in depth later in the podcast, but she was like my spiritual guide, I would say. She's like an angel healer. She does like card readings and does a lot of like spiritual forms of CBD or CBD. Yeah, spiritual CBD. That's what she does. CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. So she taught me a lot about like, you know, just like letting love flow through you. So picture like, you know, love coming in through the top of your brain and then out through your toes or your hands, wherever your love comes out, through your heart. But then if you put a valve at the end and you block it off, no more love can come in because you're not putting it out. And it's like there's no like shortage, like it's never going to run out. The love is abundant. It can keep coming and keep coming, and you can keep giving it away. And that was a very good thing, because it would be, I found that thinking that love was finite mostly led to jealousy. So you would see like your partner giving love, or what you would like find a loving action to somebody else, or your parents giving love to somebody else, or anyone close to you, and you're like, hey, why am I not getting that love? And it's like, look, man, there's plenty of love to go around. You can have a love. It's the Oprah Winfrey of love, and you get a love, and you get a love, and you get a love. You know, it's just always the answer. More love, love, love. So yeah, there's no supply, limited supply. So just the more you give, the more you get. I really like that one. Number 4. Now, this is the creepiest sounding one, but hear me out. It's that nobody gets to decide whether you love them or not. So at first that sounds very stalkery and creepy, but it was one of my biggest breakthroughs in love. And it again was taught to me by Colette Freeman when I was going through my breakup with Michaela. So Michaela Meyer, she's one of my best friends in the world now. I love her to death. She has taught me so much about love, like the love in the purest sense of the form, where like the desire to see all things flourish. I love that girl still to this day, and we get along very well. I actually talked to her a few days ago. Actually, I talked to her yesterday, but we tried to do a video call today, and we did the old phone tag. So anyway, when her and I broke up, she went to Thailand. She went traveling to Thailand. And I was so devastated. I was probably 28 years old, 27, 28, so this would have been 7 or 8 years ago. And I was so hurt and sad. And I remember going to therapy. I was probably going to therapy like twice a week at this point. I was going and seeing like, we had a family assistance program through the mill, and I was going and doing that. And then I was also doing this spiritual healing with Colette. And Colette, I remember like breaking down and crying and saying like, you know, it's not fair. Like if she just knew how much I loved her, like I love her so much. And Colette said, Alex, like, Michaela doesn't get to decide whether you love her or not. Like you can continue to love Michaela even though you guys aren't together. And I didn't really understand that concept at first. And then when you look at it through the lens of like, love is the desire to see all things flourish, that really changed. So what I started doing was, I'm like, well, if you truly love Michaela, this isn't about you. This is about Michaela. And so I started with my meditations and my prayers, and I would send Michaela loving wishes during my meditation. So I was doing meta meditation which is like a love meditation where, you know, you generally start with yourself, where you like wish yourself love and belonging, and then you wish it to like a close, like what do they call, like a dependent, so like a very close loved one. Then you do it to a stranger, and then you do to an enemy, and then you do it to all beings, and you kind of step down through that path. And by the end of the meditation, you're always like, dude, I always feel so good. You're like, man, I just love everybody, and I just want everyone to get along, you know? ELE, everybody love everybody. Semi-pro, so good. But yeah, it just taught me, like, I just started wishing well for Michaela when I was at home. You know, I was like, I hope Michaela's in Thailand having the best time of her life. And I hope that she gets everything she ever wanted. And it felt good. Again, to go back, like, you're choosing love there. And you're not doing it for any ulterior motive. I'm not like, oh, if I do this, then Michaela's going to give me that. It's not that. And it feels so good. So it's like, people don't get to decide whether you love them or not, you know? So you can wish love to anyone, anytime you want, and it always feels good, man. I really, really like that one. So that's a good one. The last one I have is that love beats hate. Like, love always is the answer, like I said before, but love beats hate. It's the only thing that will. Like, so it's that old thing where they say, like, hurt people hurt people. And you notice it, like, I think about times in my own life where when I'm happy and I'm in a good place and everything is going right, I don't have a drop of anger or hatred in my body. Like, you're just like, I love everyone, I hope everyone's doing well, and you just want nothing but good for people. And then when things are going bad and you feel you're scared and you're acting out of fear, that's when you're like, well, why are they getting that? I should get this. And those people suck. And man, those people are annoying over there. And, you know, they shouldn't be doing that. They should be doing it like this. And you're like, it's because you're scared. And so now you're hurt, and then you're taking that out on everyone else. And something that really teaches me this is like the internet. So, like, I post these dumb jokes online all the time, you know, when I think of these dumb one-liners, I put them out. Sometimes they can be crude or offensive or, yeah, like, silly. And more often than not, it's just dumb. Like, it's just a dumb joke. And people are like, this is your comedy? You're an idiot. You suck. I get a lot of that. And when I receive those messages, I always respond with love. I'll do the love emoji and I'll say thank you, like, thanks for commenting, and put like a heart or something. And like, hey, I hope you're having a good day. And more often than not, the person will either do a couple things. One, they'll either like delete the comment and then they'll DM me and say, hey, I'm sorry for making that comment. I was in a really bad place at the time. Like, sorry, that had nothing to do with you. I was just grumpy, or I had this going on in my life. Number two that they will do is they will just comment right below basically the same thing. Like, haha, just kidding. Sorry about that. Like, you know, just joking. And they'll like try and make light of the comment they made. And the last one, a lot of the time, even people, I've had a lot of people, they apologize and then they buy a ticket to my show, and then they come and see me after the show. And they're like, oh man, like, hey, that was great. Like, sorry about that thing I saw on the internet, you know, like, I've been really hurt. Like, I lost my wife, or I, you know, went through a breakup, or I'm having financial struggles, or whatever the case is. I'm struggling with drugs and alcohol. Whatever it is, they will come and explain kind of their story to me and say they're sorry, which they don't need to do that. But they're great, man. And then it's just like, you realize, you're like, it's love, man. Like, love is always the answer. So, yeah, I hope that everyone out there loves everyone and that you're all having a very good day. I'm going to take off a few things quickly. So I am in Adelaide, Australia right now. This is my last day here. And then tomorrow I'm flying to Bali for 3 weeks, which I'm very excited. Should be very relaxing. And I'm mostly going to be doing work, getting ready to bring my new hour back to Canada to start the Happy Camper Tour. So the Happy Camper Tour is on sale now. We're doing all of Western Canada. Well, not the territories, I'm sorry. I really will try and get up there, I promise. But we're doing we got a ton of dates across BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. Tickets are moving very well. We've already sold, I think, over 700 tickets. So thank you to everyone who's bought a ticket. It honestly means the world to me, man. It's the first time since I started this comedy thing that I'm like, man, I think this thing might work. Like, I might actually be able to make a living and be okay and do all the things. So I appreciate every one of you that's been following along and buying tickets and telling your friends and stuff about it. What else is there? Yeah, I think that's about it, you guys. This podcast is brought to you by elephants. If you haven't today, go and hug your local elephant. I love them. Okay, I love you guys. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.